सुखाकरं मम प्रियगणाधिपं नमामि ते विनायकं हृदकमलनिवासिनं नमामि ते गजाननम् अनन्तमोददायकम् क्लेशवारकं बुद्धिबलप्रदायकं समस्तविघ्नहारकं दूरवर्णशोभनम् एकदन्तमोहनं भजामि ते कृपाकरं मम वक्रतुण्डधारकं कृष्णपीच्छमोहनं विकटरूपधारिणं देववृन्दवन्दितं स्मरामि विघ्नहारकं मम बन्धमोचकं नमामि ते वाहनं रिद्धिसिद्धिसंयुतं भालचन्द्रशोभनं ज्ञानिनां वरिष्ठ इष्टफलप्रदायकं सदा भावयामि त्वां सगुणरूपधारिणं नमामि ते गजाननम् अनन्तमोददायकं सर्वविघ्नहारकं समस्तविघ्नवर्जितं विकटरूपशोभनं मनोजदर्पमर्कनं सगुणरूपमोहनं गुणत्रयातीतं नमामि ते मम प्रियगणेशं नमामि ते गजाननम् अनन्तमोददायकम् बनाना, ओ अपनी निगाह में हमें रखना, सीखे हमने राह पर चलना, अपनी पनाह में हमें रखना, सीखे हमने राह पर चलना, क्षमावान कोई तुझसे नहीं माँ, हे परमेश्वरी हे शुभकारी, क्षमावान कोई तुझसे नहीं माँ, हे परमेश्वरी हे शुभकारी, ज्ञान कर्मा भक्ति दे देवी, ज्ञान कर्मा भक्ति दे देवी, माँ चरणों में अक्षय पद देना, करुणा की छाव में हमें रखना, सीखे हमें अनेक राह पर चलना, ओ अपनी पनाह में हमें रखना, सीखे हमने राह पर चलना, सीखे हमने राह पर चलना, सीखे हमने राह पर चलना।
कृष्ण गोविंद गोविंद गाया करो, कृष्ण गोविंद गोविंद गाया करो, प्यारा मोहन हृदय में बिठाया करो, प्यारा मोहन हृदय में बिठाया करो, कृष्ण गोविंद गोविंद गाया करो, कृष्ण गोविंद गोविंद गाया करो। लगाया करो ध्यान चित्त में समाकर, भगा मन कहीं फिर लाओ जमा कर, लगाया करो ध्यान चित्त में समाकर, भगा मन कहीं फिर लाओ जमा कर, बातें संतों की उस से गाया करो, मन रंगाया करो, रंग में नहाया करो, दंडुलाया करो. कहत तुकड्या चरण रज लुटाया करो, कृष्ण गोविंद गोविंद गाया करो, कृष्ण गोविंद गोविंद गाया करो. प्यारा मोहन हृदय में बिठाया करो, प्यारा मोहन हृदय में बिठाया करो, कृष्ण गोविंद गोविंद गाया करो, कृष्ण गोविंद गोविंद गाया करो.
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो,
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 गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो.
माता जी माता जी माता जी बोलो,
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 माता जी बोलो, 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 माता जी बोलो,
माता जी माता जी 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 माता जी बोलो.
निर्मल तुम बोलो सज निर्मल तुम बोलो,
निर्मल तुम बोलो सही, निर्मल तुम बोलो,
निर्मल तुम बोलो सज निर्मल तुम बोलो,
निर्मल तुम बोलो सही, निर्मल तुम बोलो.
माता जी माता जी माता जी बोलो, माता जी माता जी माता जी बोलो, माता जी माता जी माता जी बोलो.
Shri Shri Mataji, dear respected brothers and sisters from the global Sahaj family, Salam Sejahtera dari Malaysia, warm greetings from Malaysia and from our global king. Let us now very humbly bow and welcome Shri Mataji into our hearts with profound love, respect, adoration, gratitude, and thankfulness for the most revered Mother, the Supreme Goddess, Shri Adi Shakti Mataji, Sri Nirmala Devi, Namo Namaha. Let us also have the same awe for all the deities so that they are awakened within us, for the Ganas and for the angels. Love and respect for our fellow Sahajis across the globe, for ourselves and mankind in general. Dear brothers and sisters, now with folded hands and with complete reverence, we will seek the permission from our Holy Mother, Param Puja Shri Mataji. We, your children, from across the world, humbly seek the permission, blessings, guidance, and protection to have this global online education. Shri Mataji, it is only by your divine grace and blessings and the will of God that we are able to gather every week to worship your holy lotus collectively. For this beautiful opportunity, Shri Mataji, we are eternally grateful and thankful to you. Shri Mataji, verily, you are the doer and the enjoyer. Hence, we pray that you bless us with the spiritual strength and wisdom of Sri Ganesha. Help us to sustain our yoga, increase our yoga Shakti, so that we can spread the light of the Spirit in our attention, and bless us with the boon of your grace, Shri Mataji. Mataji, our earnest desire is to please you, to attain our spirit, to be the witness, and to be one with you at all times. Completely surrendered at your holy lotus feet. Our humble salutation, Shri Mataji, at your holy lotus feet again and again, from all your children. Today, dear brothers and sisters, by the grace and blessings of Shri Mataji, we are once again blessed and honored to have another very dynamic and devoted sister from currently she's living in UK, Sister Antoinette Wells. Originally from Switzerland, she comes from a very, very spiritual family. All of us know their family. We used to have our late brother Gregoire, Arno, and other brothers, and also Sister Antoinette has got 5 lovely realized soul children, and also now 2 of them are very, very professional. They are very dynamic and professional as musicians and singers. We have just heard them sing just now, and we'll be looking forward to more later on. And they also are, Sister is also blessed with 7 grandchildren. She herself is very, very dynamic in many ways. We all know, we have read about them, and we've heard from Shri Mataji. Sister has been introducing Shri Mataji on stage, and on other occasions she's shared a beautiful experience and podcasts across England and also in Brazil. The list goes on and on and on. So without wasting any more time, let's put our hands together to welcome our dear sister. We are very thankful, sister, you to have come in at the last minute, though we were waiting for you for a couple of months now, and it's fortunate that you were available today. I know you just finished one of your sessions just half an hour ago, and now you're ready for the next session. So we are really thankful and grateful to Shri Mataji and to you as well. And our love and regards to all your children and your grandchildren, your family. Nikki Wells and Tanya Wells are very, very well-known musicians. We know them as vocalists. So, just like to invite you now to share your beautiful experience. Everyone is waiting for your stories. So, without much ado, welcome your sister, Jai Shri Mataji.
Thank you so much for your kind welcoming. Yes, it was very spontaneous, your invite. But I must say, I prayed Shri Mataji these last weeks, and I said, Shri Mataji, how can I serve you to tell my stories and kind of still do some things that I can do for Sahaja Yoga? And then I had this kind of spontaneous invitation from yours. So I couldn't refuse, obviously. And I said, oh my God, this is a sign that I really need to be there. And I always enjoyed sharing my stories with Shri Mataji because it's been such a blessing to be in her company for many, many years when she was on this earth. Actually, she instructed me in the very early days in 1980 to write some diaries. She said, Antoinette, then she gave me the name Amruta, but she said, Antoinette, you should write things down so that later on people will want to know. So after she said that, the next day I went to buy these two diaries that I'm going to show you here, where I wrote in India, I wrote wherever I was, and they're all written by hand. And from today, I'm going to just tell you two beautiful stories out of this time. Obviously, it's nice to have them written down because the memory then is quite precise. But I'm not going to read now. I'm just going to do it from memory. So forgive me. I hope I will not forget anything. So the first story is when we accompanied Shri Mataji in Rome in 1980. My brother Grégoire was posted there as a secretary diplomat from Switzerland. I think it was Switzerland at that time and not the UN already. And we were there with Shri Mataji, a little group of Sahaja Yogis from Europe mostly, just a small number. And we stayed at his house. I think Catherine just had baby Machindranath, so it was a very special time. And then with Shri Mataji, we went to visit some basilicas in Rome. And I want to tell you one story which was absolutely beautiful in the Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore. And then I will tell you also how the vibrations stayed in that church from that time of 1980 up to nowadays, because people could feel these vibrations. So we went to this basilica, and then I'm just revisiting this time. So I will close my eyes and just tell you. So we entered the church with Shri Mataji, and she was wearing a beige coat and a scarf, and in a very kind of childlike way, we were calling her Shri Mataji incognito, so she was wearing this long beige coat and a scarf. Maybe you saw some photos of her wearing this clothes when she was out and about. So we entered the church, and she mentioned the big marble wheel on the floor, and she marveled, saying, oh, they knew about the chakras because they were round shapes there. And then there were some wooden kind of boxes at the side and she asked, what are the boxes at the side of the church? And we said to her, Shri Mataji, this is where the Catholic tell their sins to the priest. And Shri Mataji said, really? You know how when she said really, like that? And she said, better give some money to the priest. And then we continued. And then we arrived at the center, at the cross of the basilica, where there was a big altar and where the holy bread was exposed. And I must say, we are from Catholic origin, so that was quite a special visit to go into this church with Shri Mataji. And there was some ladies praying the rosary, the rosary, Ave Maria, Grazia Plena, etc. And one of them came to our little group with an image of Christ, but it was a very sad image of Christ with a crown of thorn around his head and some blood dripping from the sharp pins of the crown. And I said, no, we don't want to take this image. And Shri Mataji said to us, take it. So we took the image, and of course we obeyed Shri Mataji. And then she said to us to place ourselves behind the ladies who were praying the rosary, and Shri Mataji was facing the altar, giving vibrations to the holy bread there. And she said to us before we posted ourselves, she said, let them face my Kundalini. So we went at the back, and then, for a little while we stayed there quietly and meditated while she was giving vibrations, standing there. In front of other together to go back. But the lady who gave us the picture, the image of Christ, was trying to catch up with us. And she said there was Ruth, who was in Rome also, Ruth and Kingsley, Kingsley's wife, who she was talking to her and said, who are you following? Che seguidere? Are you following Christ? She said in Italian, and Ruth was translating from Italian into English. And so Ruth said in Italian, we are following this lady, but we are also following Christ. And so the woman was quite intrigued, and she wanted to talk about Christ and convert us, etc. But we were still walking the long way until the entrance of the church. And we arrived at the big door, which was at the entrance of the church. And the whole little group stopped, with Shri Mataji there also stopping. And so then Shri Mataji turned to the lady who was looking at Shri Mataji with great curiosity. And the lady asked Shri Mataji, do you believe that Christ is in the bread? And Shri Mataji answered, if you really believe that Christ is in the holy bread, he is in the bread. And then the lady looked quite emotional, and Shri Mataji looked at her again and she said, don't feel guilty. And the lady answered, it's very difficult to not feel guilty when we know what we did to Christ. And then there was a pause again. And Shri Mataji said for us to ask to the lady in Italian, let her look at my face and see what she feels by looking at my face. So the lady looked at Shri Mataji's face and said, una molta buona persona, which means a very good lady. And at that point, we started to feel really strong vibrations. So, and the lady was quite moved. So then the lady was very moved and fell into Shri Mataji's arms and said to Shri Mataji in Italian, forse ci vediamo nel paradiso, meaning maybe I will see you in the paradise, in the heaven. And then we really felt that she got her realization. So we were very quiet and in a very meditative mood. And so that was the end of the interaction with this Catholic lady, and we then went outside onto the porch of the church. And Shri Mataji talked to us and said, see, that is the way you have to talk to people who are entrenched in their religion, just with love. And we took that lesson with us. It was such a beautiful teaching. Now, the amazing thing is that some friends of mine, much later, about, I would say 30 years later, went into the church, and one friend, an Indian actually friend, wrote to me and said, what is happening? We visited Rome with my parents-in-law, and we stayed. We went to visit the Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore. And when we went in the center of the church, we felt such strong vibrations. And Antoinette, I know you were there in Rome with Shri Mataji. Did something happen there? So I told her the story about our experience with Shri Mataji there. And moreover, very recently, last year, you know, I am from a former Catholic religion, but of course I'm not Catholic anymore. However, the late Pope Francis was a great devotee of Mother Mary, and he used to go to this church, Santa Maria Maggiore, to pray to the Holy Virgin there. I mean, it's a well-known story. And then there was his funeral. Never watch a funeral of a pope, less alone, you know, a pope. And then I saw that there was this small carriage going from the Basilica of St. Peter somewhere with this very humble sarcophage of the late Pope Francis going somewhere. And lo and behold, it arrived at the front of Santa Maria Maggiore. And I felt such strong vibrations there. I was quite moved because I said, wow, what is going on here? So the wish of the Pope Francis was that he didn't want to be buried in the St. Peter Cathedral, the big St. Peter Cathedral. He wanted to be buried in Santa Maria Maggiore. You know, the popes are allowed to do that because he used to go and worship there very often, the statue of the Holy Virgin Mary there. So you see, the ways of Shri Mataji's are incredible. They go through centuries, they go through years and years, and they reach whoever, even a pope, you know. So that's the end of my first story. Jai Shri Mataji. The second story I would like to tell you about was in India. I did 3 or 4, I think 3 trips with Shri Mataji in India, you know, with all the Sahaja Yogis, obviously. But it was in the early days, so it was very, very special. Also quite a lot of tapasya, I must say, to go in these Indian buses onto the Indian roads, which were very dusty, was quite a tapas. But we had amazing experience there, and I wrote quite a lot about India. India is a very dear, dear place to me. It's the abode of the Kundalini, and when I'm there, I can feel, you know, my Kundalini is just very happy there. And so it was one of the journey where we were all staying near the Brahmapuri River, which is also called the Sri Krishna River. under big pendants, we were under big white tents. We were all in our sleeping bags there, sleeping, meditating, eating delicious homemade cooked food, cooked there on the ground by the Indian Sahaja Yogis. And it was very special. We were eating on banana leaf, big banana leaves, and it was very satisfying food. Sometimes non-veg as well, not always vegetarian at all. It was also chicken and things like that, eggs. Anyway, this is beside the point. And we also remembering of breakfast by the river Brahmapuri, where we were sitting there, and then little monkeys would jump down and steal our bananas and our breakfast, and it was so funny. Anyway, this is also beside the point, but it was very funny and very joyous. So one day we were all kind of sitting on these rocks. There's lots of rocks in the river and beside the river of the Krishna River. And so we were talking, chatting, enjoying, doing food soaks, etc. And then we heard, Shri Mataji is coming, Shri Mataji is coming. So, wow. So we were getting ready. And of course, all the Sahaja Yogis gathering like a flock everywhere around the banks of the river, on one side of the river and on the other bank of the river. And I was not quick enough. I was just doing a foot soak and I couldn't get out. It was quite something. And I said, oh my God, I don't want to get out of the circle, because then I won't be next to Shri Mataji. I mean, with the circle of surrounded Shri Mataji. And it was amazing. I think because I need to tell this story, I had a little sign that there was just a little stone kind of outside the water where I could sit, and then Shri Mataji was just there next, like half a meter. I was half a meter from Shri Mataji. Yeah. And I think it's because I had to tell the story, or this beautiful story of the Krishna River. So there we were, me on the left. My brother Gregoire was actually by chance on the right, on the other side. And Shri Mataji started to talk. And she said to me and my brother Gregoire, put your right hand on your right Vishuddhi and say, Shri Mataji, I am not Swiss. Say it 7 times. Shri Mataji, I am not Swiss. Shri Mataji, I am not Swiss. Shri Mataji, I am not Swiss. She was obviously working on our Vishuddhis, because the Vishuddhi in Switzerland is not very clear, as we know. I mean, there's, of course, no country is perfect, but she was working on that. I want to do a little bracket here, because Shri Mataji is our Holy Mother. She's also our Guru. And so many times she taught us things in a very simple way, but very effective way. And this was one of those times. So we said, and she also asked us to put our left hand in the water of the river. So we did. And so that was a little moment. And there were lots of yogis doing foot soak, etc. And so after a while, it was so beautiful, because we started to feel really beautiful vibrations. And actually, I need to just say there that a Sahaja Yogi called Antonio Scialo had a camera on the other side of the bank. And at that point, he took a picture of Shri Mataji. And of course, she had her feet just on a rock with a little bit in the water, but the ankles were outside the water. And you can see, it's a miraculous photo. You can see 2 rays of light coming out of her ankle, and it's very clear. It's like a triangle coming out of her ankle, 2 rays of light. And then I got inspired and I started to sing. Our beautiful song, like Kundalini, Kundalini, Nirmala Mata, Mata, Ma. So we started to sing, and then in a cappello, everybody was singing in a cappello all around the river, and it was just so beautiful. And then another song was Mataji, Mataji, your face shines like a long, like 1,000 sun. You know, this song exactly. Again, you can sing it in a cappello and everybody would take it over. And it was like a big chorus. And at that point, some yogis from the other bank started to cross in the water because the waters were quite shallow. So the first one was Sahaja Yogi from Norway, who was a very tall man. He was actually a senior member of the UN there, who had come for the India too, a great seeker. And he crossed through the river to kneel onto Shri Mataji. So he was kneeling in the water. And Shri Mataji took some water in her hand like a scoop, like a scooping her hand and some water, and like poured it onto his head, saying to him, I baptize you now because I couldn't baptize you when you were a little baby. And it was just so moving, so beautiful, like a biblical scene. And then another Sahaja Yogi, all in their kurta, white kurta pajamas, you know, kind of what kurta, came again through the water from the other side of the river. And he was a Muslim Sahaja Yogis who came there with all his family. And he had a complete revelation. He actually fell, he just bowed into the water up to his neck and started to cry with tears in his eyes, saying, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. He actually recognized Shri Mataji as Allah. And again, that was incredible. It was like absolutely a biblical vision. And we were all kind of singing around still, and then these were the scenery, and Shri Mataji was looking radiant and completely in meditative mood. So there you are. These are the two stories I wanted to tell you. I don't know how the time is passed. Maybe I could tell you more, but I just thought of these two stories.
You can tell more stories, Krista.
Yes, hello.
No, don't worry about that. You can share more stories.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
It's also beautiful. You're already in meditation as you're. I said we are looking forward to more stories from you because we are already in meditation. But as you're talking, we already can feel the meditation. You know, we are in meditation, as if Shri Mataji, you know, is there.
I know. Yeah, I know because, you know, that's maybe what Shri Mataji wanted, is that when I tell the stories, people are there with me. And it's always so moving because I told these stories also in Brazil in front of hundreds of people after Shivaratri Puja. And some just felt their sasrara opening, and other came and said, wow, you know. And I feel so enamored and privileged to be able to transmit these stories, that we were so privileged to be with Shri Mataji. Quite a few are in my diaries, and then other ones I remember, but they definitely lead us into meditation. There's one or two more. I don't know what time. I have no idea what time it is now. I think, what do you want me to lead a meditation, or what do you want me to do?
You can share another story and then we can do the meditation. Is that possible?
Well, I just
I leave it to you.
Yeah. Well, that will be my meditation then, I think. I will tell you a beautiful story which happened in Portugal. Also, again, it's linked with Christianity because, of course, Shri Mataji was working on earth, on the Agya Chakra, and she was connecting us with Christ in ourselves. So that was a story which happened after the wedding of my brother Arnaud and Maria Amelia, who had invited Shri Mataji to their wedding in Portugal, in Sintra. So she came, and that was the first time that she was facing Catholic Church, because it was a big wedding with several hundred of people. So with the two families, staunch Catholics on both sides. I think there was about 200 people there. And we spent 5 blessed days with Shri Mataji. It was just unbelievable. So I will tell you a particular story, because obviously there are several ones, but I will tell you one. After a while, Shri Mataji wanted to be just with us. And so we were going out for lunch with her in different little trattorias, little inns, etc. So on one of these occasions, we went to the top of the hill of Sintra, and there was an inn there. We had a little walk through the village, and we walked there actually with Shri Mataji, and we entered this inn, and Shri Mataji just gave realization to 2 little girls. And then we were very lucky to have just a room for ourselves. We were about, I think, 7 to 9 yogis there. I don't remember exactly. You know, when we are with Shri Mataji, all the lines are blurred and we are completely focused on her. And sometimes it's very difficult to remember who else was there. But I remember my sister was there, and some other Sahaja Yogi from Switzerland, one yogini from France, but the rest I don't remember. Of course, Arnaud and Maria Amelia were in Lisbon to prepare the programs, so they were not there on this occasion. So we all sat on this table, and it was a rectangular table, and we sat around the table, and Shri Mataji sat in the center of the table. And I was at one of the end, I remember. And suddenly I saw on the table some bread and some grapes. And I got inspired, and I said, Shri Mataji, can you please talk to us about the Eucharisty? You know, the Eucharisty is the holy bread again, you know, and how Christ transformed the bread into the holy bread. So she said, you see, it's very simple. So she asked us to take some grapes and taste them. So we took some grapes and taste them. And she asked us, how do you feel these grapes feel? And I said, well, they are not very tasty, a bit sugary, Shri Mataji, but not a lot of taste. Then she put her right hand on the grapes, and she said, now taste them. So we tasted again the grapes. They were dark grapes, you know, kind of, not white grape, dark grape. So we tasted them again, and again she asked how they now, the grapes. And we said they are succulent, Shri Mataji, like nectar. They are delicious. And then she put her hand on the bread, And she said to us, take the bread and break it and eat it. And then she said, you see, when Christ said, this is my body and this is my blood, he could say that because he was pure pranava, pure vibration. So when he touched the grape and the bread, he put his vibrations in the bread and in the grapes. I mean, of course, it was a drink at that time. It was the grape juice. And so when he said, this is my body, yes, the disciples were taking the body of Christ inside themselves because they were taking his vibrations. So obviously, after this story, we were completely in awe and in meditation, and we were in complete silence. And we ate the grapes and we ate the bread, and we were complete in meditation. Then we went slowly outside on the other side of the inn, and it was the sunset. And I was standing by chance again next to Shri Mataji, and she was wearing a burgundy shawl above her head, you know, like it happened several times. She had this burgundy shawl and she would put it around her. She looked absolutely beautiful. I could see her profile, and she looked at the sun who was going down. And I was looking at her, who was on my left side. And then I was looking at the sun, and the sun was standing there, not going down, standing on the horizon there, just, you know, staying there. And then she blinked with her eyes, she blinked, and the sun went down. Because Christ is in the sun, so the sun was saluting Shri Mataji, and with her permission, he went down. So I think I don't want to say anymore. I think it's not even needed to guide a meditation. I think we are all in meditation just now. If you want to, we can put some beautiful music and say the Maha Mantra. If you can do that, maybe. I just want to stay there and not talk so much anymore. So it's up. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, we can play the mantra and then we be in meditation with music. And you want to follow up with the talk, right? Shri Mataji's talk.
Oh yeah, Shri Mataji's talk. Yes, please. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes,
We'll
I'm a
just
bit
play
lost.
we'll play the.
Okay, where are we now? So, ask everyone to bow down, take bandha, and start meditation. Well, do you want me to guide the meditation, or
Now
what
we
do
are
you
already in
feel?
meditation. We are already in meditation. So we'll just play a sloka, and then we'll be in meditation, and then followed by Shri Mataji's
And then we
talk.
put the talk.
Yes.
Then we put the talk. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So
Thank you,
do
sister.
that. Yes. Very
Jai Shri
good.
Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji. So can we put the talk of Shri Mataji, please? Yeah.
Today, we have decided to have the puja of Sri Krishna. We have many a times done this puja and have understood the essence of Sri Krishna's advent, which was 6,000 years back. And now, what his manifestation was, what he wanted to be accomplished, has to be done in this Kali Yuga. As it is, this Kali Yuga is going into a new realm of Satyuga. But in between, there is Kruta Yuga, where this Brahma Chaitanya, or we can say the all pervading power of God's love, is going to act. At this time, what is going to happen with Sri Krishna's powers? This is what we have to see. Sri Krishna, as I told you, was the incarnation also of diplomacy. So he plays around quite a lot, and ultimately he brings forth the untruth and the falsehood. But in doing that, he judges people. So it's very important that Sri Krishna's powers of his diplomacy were to be manifesting at this time when it is the last judgment. So now, whatever we have done wrong before, whatever karmas which have been done in ignorance maybe, or maybe deliberately, all of them will be paid back. Those punyas which you have done in previous life, this life, will be also rewarded. This is all done through Sri Krishna's principles of collectivity, where he collectively sees the situation. For example, as I told you last time also, that Columbus luckily went to America. Luckily. So we were saved, otherwise we would not have been here. And then these Spanish people, bullfighters, they went and started fighting the poor, unarmed people who were just very simple owners of that land. But they went and occupied those lands and killed every one of them. So in America you can't find anyone, no doubt. But even in South America, you have to go to Colombia or to Bolivia, to great heights, to see some aboriginals there. Otherwise, most of them are finished. So now in Kruta Yuga, all these diseases have started cropping up. But the best part is the drug addiction. These drugs are made, for your information, in Bolivia and in Colombia. You drove them down there, so now you have the drugs, and very nicely you are very welcoming them. People went in Nicaragua to help them and brought back all these horrible drugs to Washington. And in every elite society, they are just discussing which is the best drug, where is the sale on, and where should they buy the drugs. So all of America is now worried how much drug they can import and kill themselves and destroy themselves. So this destruction has started from inside. Then in addition to that, when I went there first, I told them not to indulge into these Freudian practices, but keep to morality, otherwise you'll have problems. So they had first AIDS, secondly now Yogis disease, and all kinds of secret diseases there. Among 10 people, there would be at least one person who is suffering from that. And among 20 people, there will be at least one person who must be suffering from schizophrenia. Because they made every person, every other country nervous. So now, they are getting schizophrenia. Like this, we can see even in England. Now, in England, they came to India as traders, ordinary traders, and plundered us completely, no doubt, ruled us for 300 years. As I say, it's gracious hospitality they had. And then they left us in 3 pieces. And now, in their own country, they have problems, all kinds. First of all, nobody wants to call themselves as English. They all call themselves as Welsh or Scots, or especially the Irish. And there is always a bomb scare in London. Every time, for our first program also, there was a bomb scare. So you can imagine these English who tried to divide us are automatically divided among themselves and now fighting each other. But there are other problems also, like AIDS and immoral life, everything. Same with the French. French tried to sell their wine all over and bring their horrible bathroom culture everywhere. Now they are suffering from it. For example, most of the time they are drunk and they have lost all moorings. I mean, they have no sense left in their heads. Like a housewife could be a prostitute, allowed by law. All such things are happening. Now they are paying. And the worst that they are paying, all these countries who think no end of themselves, are recession. This is also Sri Krishna's power, because he is Kubera. He is the one who is the power of wealth. He gave lot of wealth to all these countries. And now they don't know what to do with themselves. You can see in these 50 years how many things have happened, but especially these 20 years have been really remarkable. All over the world you can find out there has been some sort of a complete change or an exposure. Even in Italy you see every day this Vatican is exposed, or some mafia connections are there, or these, what you call, people from the government are exposed. I am doing nothing, I am just sitting here. But it was working out that way. Since I have been here, I don't know how many people have gone to jail. God knows. I don't know, she's not brought my throat last days. I had a bath early in the morning, so a little bit. This is Sri Krishna is trying to fill me up. We Indians are also suffering because our past deeds, like we had a caste system. So now the caste system has become the greatest headache for us in India. That's the greatest cancer for us. Like that, everywhere, these 20 years or 21 years have been, I don't know, because morning, also reaction on me. So like that in every country, you'll see gradually, every country will have to face for what it has done. Also, Sri Krishna's own style was that he never believed in caste system. He himself was born in a caste which is what you call is a milkman's caste. And then he became a king, of course. But to begin with, and he lived like an ordinary person. He used to take the cows outside, look after them, and bring them home. Now, if you see his life, you'll find he is absolutely very human. The way he used to tease his mother, tease other ladies, all this is extremely human and childlike and extremely sweet. But behind that also there was a great significance. For example, Sri Radha, as you know, she was Mahalakshmi. And as Mahalakshmi, she used to put her feet, take bath in the river Yamuna. And the ladies would take water from the same river, carry on their head the pitchers. Now, Sri Krishna wanted to raise their kundalini. So he used to hit them from the back so that the water falls on their back and that vibrated water would raise their kundalini. This was his childish trick, but it had a meaning. Another one, when we see him in a Ras, Ra means energy, Radha, Ra is energy, Dha means the one who sustains. So it is Radhaji who had the energy, Sa means with. So when they played Ras, was nothing but to play with the energy. And that's how he wanted to have a collective awakening of people, of Gop and Gopis, and he did it. But then he had to leave and fight this Kamsa. In his own lifetime, as a child or grown up, he punished all kinds of devils and women, devils who were like Putna and all. He did it. And in this Kali Yuga also he is active. You have seen how gradually he has finished so many false gurus, one by one. Somebody who called himself Sri Krishna, somebody called himself as God, something else. He finished them all, exposed them nicely. And now we have very few people in the arena left for us to fight. They themselves are trembling and they are quite frightened of us because we are standing on truth. So now when we have to think about Sri Krishna, who is residing in our Vishuddhi Chakra. Many people have this problem of left Vishuddhi. That is because we are more sort of very social people. Now in the Western society, the social system is so rigid that anybody can collapse with that. Or used to be, now better because of the maybe the revolt, anti-culture. But otherwise, if you could put one spoon from here to there, then you are finished. If you start your food with, say, not with a fish knife, but with an ordinary knife, then you are finished, you are no good. And these French had made even much worse by using a big science out of alcohol. For this alcohol, this is the glass, for that alcohol, that is the glass and all. So the whole collective was made so rigid. It's much more rigid than in India. I used to think Indian collective is quite rigid because of certain conditionings we have. But after coming to the West, I was surprised that it is such a conditioning in the heads of the people that some of the conditionings you cannot remove. Say from Catholic Church you might say, or from wherever it is. But when it comes from somebody like Freud, who was absolutely a devil, they just give up all these conditionings and take to that. I cannot understand any country where there is Catholic Church so predominant, they are following Freud. So, this collective rigidity, which was then, because maybe Sri Rama was a very formal person, because of him maybe the collective rigidity might have been in India. But in the West, it is all mental. It's absolutely mental. If you make this kind of hair, then you are all right. If you put oil, then you are absolutely lunatic. All kinds of funny ideas were given, and people started doing like this. If you don't put oil at all, you will become bald. If you become bald, then they will have a business of their wigs. So the whole thing was money oriented. And everything was made so fixed that you had to do it so that they could sell their things. England was, as you know, is tailcoat. You have to wear a tailcoat if you have to see the Queen. I don't know why you have to wear a tailcoat to see the Queen, but it's compulsory. And if you don't wear, then you are not allowed. So they have to borrow these tailcoats and all that from one shop, which can be tight, which can be loose, and everybody looks like Charlie Chaplin too. They can't walk straight. So, this kind of stupid rigidity that came into the West has really made them very nervous. People are so nervous here. If you tell some lady that I'm going to come and have food with you, she will collapse. God knows what she thinks. I mean, it is caring for the public opinion or her own conditioning. But in an Indian housewife, if you tell her you are going to come, she'll be the happiest person. She'll be very happy that you are coming to her house for dinner. But here, even if you say, I would like to come and see you in the evening, they'll say, all right, come in the pub. They're so nervous. They are not sure of themselves. And this has come, I think, have been created in the West. In India also we had lots of these ritualism that came up. Very people, Jainis, who pick up their hair with their hands. They are not supposed to use any knives or any scissors or any barbers. So they were supposed to pick up their hair on their own. So from their beard, from their this thing, they would pick up all the time. That went to such a horrible conditioning that they would say that even if you breathe, then you might consume some animals. So they would put some sort of a cloth before their mouth and all kinds of nonsense they did. At that time, Sri Krishna came in. His own cousin was a Tirthankara. You will be surprised, Neminath. He became a Tirthankara. And that made Sri Krishna think about it. That this kind of stupid ritualism that we have, like in the morning, women will get up in their sleep, they will go put some water for Tulsi, do this thing, that thing, throw water here and there, and also untouchables and touchables, and you can't take water from this, you can't eat this, you can't move like that, all kinds of restrictions. Timing, everything. This time is not good, that time is not good, this you should not do, that you should not do. To such an extent that the whole movement of our country was around these rituals. I had nephews who used to come to Bombay for their work. Every day time they went to Lucknow, they would come with shaven heads. I said, what's the matter? He said, there are many people in our family who are old, and when they die, we have to shave our heads. So every time they went and somebody died, so they came with shaven heads. Like that, such horrible rituals existed, and even now in the South India, a lot of rituals are there, terrible rituals. And they cannot get out of it, they are frightened. If they get out of it, then they might be sinners or they will go to hell. So the Indian conditioning was as far as these rigidities were concerned for religion, to be on the right side, to be on the in such a way that we should not be caught up without doing this. So early in the morning they'll get up and do the rituals just without even thinking about them what they are doing.
सर्वमङ्गल माङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वात् साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते। ब्रह्मरूपे सदानन्द परमानन्द स्वरूपिणी रिद्धि सिद्धि प्रदे नारायणी नमोस्तुते। शरणागत 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 दीनानाथ परित्राण परायणी सर्वस्यार्ति हरे देवी ना Namostute, 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 Narayani. Namostute.
Okay, now we can all stand up for the Arti and the Mahamantra.
सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी। दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी। दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जग में संकट कारण कितने लिए अवतार माँ, कितने लिए अवतार। विश्व में तेरी महिमा, विश्व में तेरी महिमा। तू गंगा यमुना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी। दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जो भी शरण में आया सुख ही मिला उसको माँ, सुख ही मिला उसको। बैठ के दिल में ओ माँ, बैठ के दिल में ओ माँ। लौट के ना जाना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता सुन लो हो ये सके जो सेवा हो ये सके जो सेवा हमसे करा लेना माँ सबको दुआ देना सबको दुआ देना माँ सबको दुआ देना जय निर्मल माता जी जय निर्मल माता जी दिल में सदा रहना माँ सबको दुआ देना माँ सबको दुआ देना माँ सबको दुआ देना त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी सरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुण्डलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देवी त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्ष श्री निर्मला देवी नमो श्री निर्मला देवी नमो श्री निर्मला देवी नमो बोलो श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देवी की
जय
Now we can all together raise our Kundalini and give ourselves abandon. And we can thank Shri Mataji for this beautiful opportunity to be there in a global situation, meditating together. This is a wider collectivity, and it feels very auspicious. Jai Shri Mataji.
Thank you, sister, for the lovely sharing. It brought us a lot of memories back to Krishna River. Uncle Kinjile used to relate the story to us. It's beautiful memory, to bring back memories of those days. And all your other stories, beautiful stories. I'm sure all the yogis and new yogis would enjoy and have more faith in our Divine Mother, who's always there to protect us and guide us and bless us all together. So we would like to have you more often and share more stories with us. So thank you again, sister. We'd like to thank also your daughters. We purposely played your daughters, Nikki Wells and also Tanya Wells music. We're going to play one more, a raga. Maybe we can just sit in silence for another 3-4 minutes and enjoy and absorb the divine music. Jai Shri Mataji, thank you again, sister.
Well, thank you to you, Sister Maheshwari, for hosting us.
It's a pleasure, and it's all
giving
done by
us this
Mother. Yeah. It's Divine Mother. Yeah.
Jai Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji. Please convey our love to the UK Collective. And on behalf of the team, we would like to thank who is joined us today, and we look forward to your continued support. So let's enjoy the beautiful music by Nikki Wells. Jai Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji.
कस्तूरी तिलकं ललाटपटले वक्षस्थले कौस्तुभम् नासाग्रे नवमोतिकं करतले वेणुकरे कंकणम् सर्वांगे सर्वांगे हरिचन्दनं सुलालितम् कन्ते च मुक्ताबली गोपस्त्री परिवेष्टितो विजयाते गोपाल छोरा मानी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः
What a melodious voice, sister. Beautiful voice your daughters have. Thank you, Shrimati, for blessing all of us with this beautiful meditation and sharing session. Thank you all, brothers and sisters, once again, and we look forward to your continued support. Same time next week. Jai Shri Mata.